The champagne is being sprayed on the podium. There are Union flags everywhere you look. John Button is draped in one. Then if I look up into the huge grandstand here in China, I can see 7 or 8 flags as well up there. It's a very British celebration here with Nico Rosberg also muscling in on the act, and a very happy Jessica Mickey Barter and also McLaren. They put 2 British world champions together, and for the first time they've recorded a 1-2 win. Well, we shouldn't be surprised, David. It's raining and we've seen a 1-2 finish, just like 12 months ago. Yeah,
and the only difference this time, of course, is McLaren rather than Red Bull. But yeah, great performance from McLaren today. Great strategic decisions from Jenson. He didn't get that tyre choice wrong early doors, like a number of the cars did. Very, very difficult for the drivers in those conditions to really make the call. And as we've seen, the intermediates in this abrasive track were running out of rubber quite quickly.
Now, Eddie Jordan, back in London, you chose the wrong time to become a victim of a volcano. You missed a corking qualifying session yesterday and a pretty special race as well. What did you make of it from back there?
Well, apart from being furious at not being there, a couple of things have emerged when you get back here and look in the cold light of day. One is, nobody really gave Button a real chance of doing what he's doing against Hamilton. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, the same applies to Rosberg and Schumacher. For me, they're the 2 big stories. I'm absolutely enthralled with this race. It really came of age, and we in Formula One were very fortunate to have this.
Well, once again, it was a race where if you make the big decisions and get them right, then the rewards are huge. McLaren made the big decisions. They did indeed get them right. Let's quickly hear from the McLaren team principal. Martin Whitmarsh is with Ted Kravitz.
Martin, well done. Amazing. What are the emotions on this pit wall?
Yeah, well, I think we're wrung out, actually. It's a very, very long race and very, very difficult. Cheers, man. But it was fantastic drive by both drivers. Obviously, different strategies, but they both did a fantastic job. They ran the race, just great. And it was tense. Those last laps were, they were racing. They were going for it.
They were racing, so you hadn't told them to hold station.
You could see they were quicker than everyone else on those conditions, and we chose that as a view, as a way of racing. But boy, did it make it a long race for us.
And really, Jenson won it himself because Lewis looked like he destroyed his tyres pretty quickly.
No, I think they both made decisions. I think in these sorts of conditions you've got to play. I mean, Lewis had a fantastic race again. So many overtaking. Jenson was a little bit lighter on his tyre. I think we played the right strategy for both cars.
Do you think you're going to lose second for the unsafe release in the pit stop?
I don't think so. I think in these conditions, that both drivers released at the same time. I think it's slippery. I think we'll be okay, but who knows?
Okay, thanks, Martin.
Well, Martin Whitmarsh is feeling confident. We'll take a look at those moments on track in just a few moments, but we're here with Paddy Lowe, who's a senior engineer, and you engineered a pretty special victory today, this 1-2 finish. What's the emotion like among the team?
I'm still getting over it. These sort of wet races take years off your life, so I'm all shaky here, actually. But no, fantastic. It was so eventful, so many different things to manage. A little bit of stress at the end as we had the 2 drivers coming up to compete with each other, which is, from a team point of view, always more stressful than you'd like. But yeah, just fantastic job by everybody.
We heard Martin mention there that Jenson's a bit easier on his tyres. Can you maybe explain to us what a driver can do to have that result? Why is Lewis a bit harder on his tyres?
Well, tyres, it's more of a sort of resource you've got to use. Where and when do you use the capacity that's in the tyres, and where do you push in the race? So I think, we saw that different phases of the race. Lewis was pushing a bit harder. But I mean, Jenson has this reputation, but we haven't really seen a strong sign of it. I think it's more about how they each play different parts of the race.
Okay, well, Paddy, thank you very much for joining us. I know that you're recovering from a broken leg at the moment, so this will be good tonic for you.
I can just walk now.
Well, you can certainly walk to a party tonight, I'm sure, because the bad news is you might be stuck in China for a week.
Yeah,
the good news is
sure when we'll get home.
Well, you can make it a party out here, can't you? All right, thanks a lot, Paddy. Congratulations, pass our congratulations on to the team. And let's now hear from the drivers in the press conference.
Jenson, what a race. Another great call for tyres at the start. Safety car restart for you to control, and then some, heart-stopping moments in the final laps?
Yeah, I mean, the safety car for clearing debris off the circuit was just that, I had my heart in my mouth when that happened, because I just, I didn't know what was going to happen after that. We had built up such a good gap, and then everyone caught up, so it made it very tricky. at the end of the race, when we put the Inters on, the new set, I felt really good. The car felt great, and I wasn't pushing the tyres too much. I could see I was pulling a gap on Lewis. And then it started raining again, and I made a mistake at the hairpin, ran wide, and from then on, I just couldn't get any heat in the tyres. And yeah, every bit of water I touched, I aquaplaned, so I had to really, really back it off. But this victory, yeah, it's very special, and it really means a lot. It was a tricky race out there, and again, we called it right, and it means a lot. You know, it's not just about being quick; it's about reading the conditions, and obviously coming along across the line, just 1 second in front of Lewis. You know, I think it shows what a team effort this has been, and what a great result for the whole team.
Lewis, the first time you and Jenson have been on a podium in F1, standing together. Quite a battle you had to get there, though.
Yeah, I had quite an eventful race. I think, first of all, congratulations to Jenson. He did an incredible job today, and yes, made the better choice on the tyres. But it was very, very tough. Obviously, at the beginning, the weather, it wasn't easy making the call or when to change the tyres. And I think I chose very, very late when I was halfway around the last corner, and clearly it wasn't the right choice. But no, I've fought my way through, and we both did a tremendous job, and it's really down to an awesome job that the team are doing. And I think we've really been working very hard for this, haven't we? So it's great for the team.
I say eventful, of course. The stewards are still looking into that pit stop incident between yourself and Sebastian Vettel. Any worries on that one?
I'm not really aware of. No, not really sure what they're talking about.
When yourself and Sebastian came out of the pits together, got very close after that pit stop, and the stewards are having a look.
Are they?
Everything okay as far as you're concerned?
As far as I'm concerned, I think it was okay. I think the team they waited for quite some time, and they released me when they thought it was the right time. But got quite a lot of wheel spin, so struggled to get out the actual box. But as I came out, I noticed Sebastian was there, and he was pushing me a little bit to the right with touch wheels. But otherwise, I think it was fair.
And Nico, for you, the second time in a row you've been third on the podium. Like Jenson, the right call on tyres at the start of the race.
Yeah, I think it was a good call, and I took the advice from the team and from my engineer, and then eventually just decided, okay, let's give it a go and stay out. And turned out to be really good. I mean, you're just out there, you're just, come on, please stop raining. And it's just so on the edge, you know. If it rains a little bit more, it's the wrong call. If it rains a little bit less, it's fine. So, and that went really well. And then it was nice to be leading the race for a long time from there. But I think I got a little bit more tired Deg than Jenson. As soon as it started raining a bit more again, struggled a little bit more and made a mistake. So he came by. But in general, obviously, I'm really, really happy with today's result. It's a good step again in the right direction.
And comfortably ahead of your teammate once again. Life at Mercedes has been very good for you so far this season.
Yeah, at the moment I'm feeling really comfortable in the team, and I'm really thankful also. They've helped me integrate really well. So it's all coming together for me really nicely, and we've had a good step forward again this weekend. So we had some upgrades for this track, and very small actually. So we have a lot more to come, and so it's quite promising for us.
Well, a promising day indeed for Mercedes Grand Prix. Congratulations to Nico Rosberg. He picks up another podium finish, but the win and 25 points under this new scoring system belongs to Jenson Button, with Lewis Hamilton just behind him. A disappointing day for the pole sitter. Once again, the pole sitter doesn't take the win. Sebastian Vettel finishing 6th. Michael Schumacher rounds off the point scorers in the top 10. And if we have a look at some of the other drivers who didn't manage to pick up any points today, and it was a frustrating day for a few of them, including Adrian Sutil, who was running really well early on, and Pedro Della Rosa and Kamui Kobayashi once again not finishing for BMW Sauber. Another really frustrating day for that team. So Jenson Button is the new leader of the Drivers' World Championship, and 15 times in the past 20 seasons, the driver that's led the championship after 4 races has gone on to become the world champion. Could Jenson defend his title? His teammate Lewis Hamilton is sitting 4th, Fernando Alonso sitting 3rd, and Nico Rosberg, well done to him, he's a big winner as well today. 50 points, he sits 2nd. And it means that in the constructors' battle, McLaren now take the lead. 109 points, they replace Ferrari, and Red Bull, who've had every pole and led every race, sit 3rd. Well, we're just down here by Parc Fermé. This is where all the cars get weighed. They get checked over by all of the race stewards, and we can see Jenson Button's #1 Mercedes McLaren MP425 just behind us here. David, what's the first thing that leaps out at you when you take a look at this?
Well, I don't know if the camera can actually get in there and see, but we can really get a great close-up of how slick those intermediate tyres are. Look at the middle of that tyre. it is completely bald, and that's why we were seeing big difficulties from the cars running at the end of the race. Front tyres are even more worn.
So a huge challenge for the drivers to be driving with tyres like that, and a couple of challenging decisions for the race stewards as well this weekend, led by former driver Alexander Wurz. Now, the big contentious decision at the moment that we need to work out is Lewis Hamilton being released into the path of Sebastian Vettel. The simple question is he going to be punished for this, and if so, how?
Well, I think Martin mentioned in commentary there's 3 options available to them. Clearly they haven't done a drive-through during the race, so the option they'll have will be to apply time afterwards. Look at these guys battling into the pit lane entry there. And the other one, of course, is to give a grid drop at the next Grand Prix in Spain. But as we run into the stop, we can see that's the onboard from Sebastian's car, and now he's pretty much just got to follow him.
Eddie Jordan is back in London watching this, and Eddie, it was a bit of a wild afternoon from pretty much all of the drivers, wasn't it?
Well, it was hugely exciting. You talk about it, but if Hamilton is going to be done for passing Vettel on the entry, then the same would apply to Massa, not Massa, but in fact Alonso and the Massa occasion, because exactly the same thing happened. I want to see a replay of the actual the instruction to allow the 2 drivers to leave, because for me, in conditions like this, it's a very airy-fairy rule. It's not pinned down well enough at this moment in time.
We get a good shot here from onboard Sebastian Vettel, David.
Yeah, this is great. Watch the lolly will come up and he will release. And let's look at the McLaren in front.
This is in slow motion, of course. The pit stop wasn't this slow, in case you're wondering.
Now, he looks to me, yeah, he is definitely moving before Lewis is moving. Look at that. You can see the rear jackman come down. So technically, with that evidence, the stewards could take action. It would be a shame if they did, because we saw a great race there today, and ultimately both of them handled it superbly well. But that gives some pretty big ammunition to the stewards.
And of course, Eddie, the stewards have access to all of the footage that we're looking at now. If you were sitting in that room, what decision would you make, Eddie?
Well, for me, it's very clear. The lollipop is almost simultaneous. There's probably a fraction of a second earlier with Vettel, but no one has that ability to be able to watch another car in another pit. For heaven's sake, this is a racing incident. Is one of those things where you're not going to be able to legislate a rule clearly like that. If that was the case, then you would have to wait till you see the car behind come out in the pit lane. What would happen if there was a stuck wheel or something like that? I see this as a racing incident. I don't think McLaren have anything to worry about.
OK, but it wasn't the only racing incident. We saw one on track, not just in the pit lane, involving Jenson Button. Now, the ruling clearly states that you can't excessively brake or accelerate to cause danger to other guys on the track. How do you rate Jenson's driving at this point?
Well, what we don't see in that shot is how slowly was he going up until the point when he arrived at the hairpin. If he wasn't going that quickly, then you can't say he did something excessive. Of course, people would be expecting him. Yeah, so he
Looking backwards from his car, though, we can see the problems it causes behind.
Yeah, but he's slowed down well ahead of the braking zone. But yeah, he's almost in the cruise there, and people aren't expecting that. So again, there's some serious evidence for the stewards to take a look at it. But once again, I hope they don't do anything, because no one actually ended up damaging the car there.
OK, well, we've got an awful lot to talk about, clearly, and we're going to do just that on the interactive Red Button forum. All you need to do is press red as soon as we come off air today. We've got loads more time. We'll hear from drivers, we'll hear from team principals. We'll take a look at all that footage again, and of course, you can get involved and tell us what you think. f1@bbc.co.uk. Don't forget 2:55 this afternoon. If you've only just woken up and missed a cracking race, then you can see the rerun. We're back in 3 weeks' time for the Spanish Grand Prix, hopefully, and of course next weekend it's MotoGP from Japan. Eddie Jordan in London, thank you very much. David, here in the rain, not enjoying a cup of tea in London, thank you as well. So, 2 drivers, 2 world champions, and a huge haul of points. It's the perfect Chinese takeaway for McLaren. See you soon.
Jenson Button wins again. It's a McLaren 1-2.
Anybody who thinks I can't do it anymore, best step right back and take that.